At the Core, first and foremost, works to support families of college-bound students, and we do that in a number of different ways. One of our more popular and fun things that we do around town are two different programs. One, of course, with you called Smart Money Moves for the College Bound, and we also do a separate one that covers a number of different topics called Tips for the College Bound. Both are 90 minutes. You know, they're free, they're interactive. We think they're a great community service for families. The second way that we really support families is through our flagship service called Guided Self-Assessment, and that's a very one-on-one customized service primarily for high school and early college students. We also do a workshop for middle school students, primarily students aged 11 to 14. It's a wonderful 4-hour workshop that just gets them thinking about some of the ideas that are going to blossom into their choice of college career and major. Finally, we have a very strong presence now on social media and a strong mailing list, and we really enjoy sharing information with families. Guided self-assessment is a fantastic, powerful option for families, especially for families of students that don't really know what they want to do when they're done with high school. So one key component of participating in guided self-assessment is that the student needs to want to do it. They're going to be interviewed a number of times, and it doesn't really work if the student isn't a willing participant. So once a student decides they want to participate, they would sit for 5 one-hour, one-on-one interviews with a facilitator from At the Core. And during those interviews, they would discuss, be led really through a discussion about everything from their interests, what they like and what they don't like, what they feel like they're good at and what they're not good at, what they prefer when given a choice, and also what they value. The facilitator will also give them some minor homework that they will do in between each interview. Once the interviews and homework are done, the facilitator moves into an analysis phase, and at that point they will look for the big ideas, the conclusions. They'll make a list of next steps as well as some potential careers for the student to explore. Before sharing that in a final family meeting with the family, the facilitator will run a draft of those findings by the student to make sure that they've got it exactly right. And then the facilitator will also lead a session with their co-facilitators, other facilitators within At the Core, to get their feedback about the student. So we're really getting the benefit of all of our minds instead of just one facilitator's. So in 4 to 5 weeks, that family will have actionable information that they can run forward with to help their student. The ideal time for a student to work with us through our experience in working with a number of students is late in the sophomore year or early in the junior year in high school. And what we have found is that by that time the student has amassed enough experiences that they can really share and talk about and sift and sort through. But the white-hot spotlight of what are you going to do after high school hasn't quite started yet, so that's really ideal. However, we've worked with students as young as freshmen. We've worked with a number of high school seniors, and we've also worked with students early in college, and it works perfectly well for those age groups as well. So we typically conduct those interviews in a public location like a Panera or a Tim Hortons or a Starbucks. It's casual, the student can have something to drink or to eat, and it's almost like the student is sitting with like an aunt or a family friend and having a conversation. So we like to keep it casual like that. And we do those 5 one-hour interviews over the course of 2 to 3 weeks. So we're meeting every 3 to 4 days with the student. We also are serving students outside Columbus using online meeting technology like WebEx or FaceTime to perform those interviews and to do the final family meeting. But for students that are local, we will of course meet with them face-to-face. The best way for folks to connect with us would be through our website, which is gettingatthecore.com, Getting, gettingatthecore.com. And I would always recommend that they can visit us at one of the Smart Money Moves presentations or a Tips for the College Bound program. If a family knew that guided self-assessment might be right for their student, they would schedule a 30-minute meeting with us. We would then explain, show a sample report, answer any of their questions so that they could go ahead and make that decision after that meeting, having all that information at hand.